Please be seated. All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Crefeld School Graduation 2026. Woo! Yeah! And before we begin, I would like to thank a few people. First, I would like to thank the Board of Trustees. While they are not necessarily student-facing, they are behind the scenes working diligently for the school. The next group that I would like to thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. I would like the staff to stand, please. Yes, please join me in congratulating this amazing group of talented individuals. Thank you. Thank you. So before I address the graduates, I want to let you all know that we are recording this ceremony as well as having it professionally photographed. Pictures and videos will be available and shared with families in the coming days. Additionally, when I call the graduates up to receive their speech and their diploma, I will call them in a randomized order, not the traditional alphabetical order. And also, please remember to silence your cell phones. Good morning, graduates, families, staff, and friends. Today, we celebrate the journey that has brought us to this moment. Each of you arrived at Crefeld with your own strengths, areas of growth, interests, and dreams. Over the years, you have grown not only as students, but as individuals. But as individuals who better understand yourselves and the world around you. One of the tenets that makes this community special is that it encourages people to be themselves. Here, you have been challenged to think deeply, ask questions, take risks, and learn from one another. You have discovered that some of life's most important lessons come from listening to different perspectives, building meaningful relationships, and finding the confidence to be your authentic self. Each of you have grown so much over your time at Crefeld. I would like to take a moment to share a memory about each of you. Now, this is just one memory, not the whole picture. And a warning, there are some inside jokes here. Sam, dessert before lunch. Maytal, music and theater. Max, your sarcastic sense of humor. Kavi, curiosity and care. Calypso, your strong sense of self and your authenticity. Xander, rock climbing and cars. Phoenix, something rotten stage manager extraordinaire. Brielle, your love of dogs. Sanai, I feel like I'm losing a staff member. E-Man, playing sports and me intercepting your passes. Rain, your evolution and loyalty to your friends. Clyde, glass blowing. Steffi, your artwork. Hayes, your poetry and your kindness. Alice, fashion and style. Mia, your infectious laugh. It's Noah, everybody. Quace, your positive energy that you bring to every room. As you move forward, remember that success is not just about where you go next, it's about how you approach life with curiosity, empathy, and a willingness to keep learning. The world will present opportunities and challenges you cannot yet imagine, and you do not need to have the answers today. What matters most is that you continue to grow, remain open to new ideas, and recognize that each of you has the ability to positively impact on the communities and the world around you. Class of 2026, we are so proud of you, and we are excited to see where the journey takes you next. We certainly hope you will come back and visit. Congratulations, you are Crefelders for life. would like to call the first senior speaker, Kavi Hecht.
Hi, everyone. When I first came to Crefeld in the summer of 2024, I was struck by the feeling of familiarity. In the book Buck, written by M.K. Asante, an alum of Crefeld, Asante writes about his experience at school here. It feels like some camp I've never been to, like s'mores and sleeping bags, he says. But for me, it felt like the camp I had been to. Crefeld had a distinctly similar environment to the summer camp that I had attended for my childhood and teenage years, a space that was a safe haven for my growth and development. The community building at Crefeld is built into the curriculum, and play and exploration has always been not just celebrated, but encouraged. One aspect of school that has surprised me initially was the fact that at Crefeld, teachers, administrators, and even our head of school are all called by their first names. Using the staff's first names builds a strong bond almost instantly. Names hold power, and it felt natural and easier to bond and build trust with the staff. Additionally, I learned a new schedule, which included morning meetings and activity rounds with all sorts of creative pursuits, such as a pottery leadership, a crochet, and trivia. All of these were foreign concepts to a former public school student, but not as a camper. However, school, just like summer camp, isn't all fun and games. At my summer camp, we were fully expected to pitch in, be open to learning new skills and do new activities, and clean our cabins every day. At Crefeld, we are expected to be open-minded as well, and to learn new things, and to keep the school environment neat. Shout out to Sean and the Crefeld Service Learning Crew, cleanup crew. Thank you. The time I have spent at Crefeld has led to a lot of growth interpersonally, educationally, socially, and emotionally. I have grown into myself as a person, finding confidence in ways that I didn't think were possible, such as being able to speak publicly. I have also noticed other students becoming more self-assured, assertive, resilient, and seeking new enrichment in different aspects of school, whether it be via the basketball team, our music electives, glass-blowing classes, and more. However, just like a summer camp experience, our time here at the Crefeld School has come to an end. Our senior year has been an accumulation of emotion, hard work, and perseverance, but also playfulness, joy, and good times. I will never forget the school-wide scavenger hunt in the beginning of the school year, or prom and our celebration of the community, or our senior year's class water fight with George. We won, by the way. Those memories will be forever cherished. Our senior class's impact on the school will not be forgotten. Our legacy will burn bright, just like the fond recollections of a summer well spent.
Maytal Frankel.
Hello, everyone. I would like to say that Kavi and I did not write our speeches together, and I didn't know what theirs was about until now, and mine is also about that same book. So you can see the impact. For the past few weeks in 11-12 English, we've been reading Buck by M.K. Asante. M.K. is a Crefeld graduate, class of 2000, and wrote his memoir Buck about growing up in Philadelphia, challenges with school and family, and trying to find his own identity. He finally finds his way to Crefeld and discovers his passion for writing. M.K. describes arriving at Crefeld and seeing a list written on a bench, 10 tips for being a Crefelder. While some of these tips do still ring true in 2026, I thought I'd take this opportunity to reflect on these and modernize a few of them for the current and future generations of Crefelders. Number 10, don't drink the water. By now, we've all figured out which water cooler is the best, and I will say it's definitely not the one on the second floor. And with those tiny water cups Sierra gives out all day, they clearly don't want you to drink too much of it anyway. Number 9. Shakespeare is kind of cool after a while if you do drink the water. Over the course of our time at Crefeld, as Crefeld students, we've read 2 Shakespeare plays, Othello and Much Ado About Nothing, with Mike and Tony. There were mixed experiences with these plays, but as the cast of Something Rotten made us realize this year, maybe Shakespeare is kind of cool. Number 8, beware. If you ask Rena to sing, she will. Now, we don't know who Rena is, but if you ask Leo to sing, she will. Even if you don't ask her to sing, she will. Number 7, you'll dance to anything. Sure, there were Sarah Narva's dance classes and the whole school line dancing during community meeting, but I think our best moment was when we all showed up and danced our hearts out at prom this year. Number 6, lab reports are hard, but you realize how wonderful learning is when you're not being force-fed. Whether it be brine shrimp or multicolored flames, lab reports can be difficult, but when you're learning in a way that supports you as an individual, you come to realize you want to learn more. Crefeld fosters this creative environment and helps us organize projects we're interested in, such as making posters about chemical compounds and banned books, and even planning and participating in an anti-ice walkout. Number 5, hyperactivity is contagious. It seems to me like people are always doing things here, whether it be making art, making music, working on exhibitions, playing and leading team sports, just expressing themselves. When you're in an environment like Crefeld that encourages this busyness, embrace it and use it to your advantage. Number 4, introspections are harder. We've all made a transition plan for next year, and this difficult process has required us to reflect on our time in school and choose a path that's right for us, whether it be going to college, working, or taking a gap year. Number 3, you people are weirdos. I would describe the class of 2026 as sometimes being weirdos. We chased George around his own backyard with water guns until we finally got him soaked. We climbed the goal pole and brought out our inner kids playing with the parachute during Outward Bound. We go on mini courses every year, sometimes local, sometimes as far as to California or Hawaii. All these opportunities allow us to find joy in our education and make learning and team building fun. Number 2, never underestimate the value of eccentrics and weirdos. I've learned that life is all about connections. The people at Crefeld truly care about each and every one of us and want us to succeed. We should always continue to appreciate this unwavering support and optimize the opportunities it can lead us to. Number 1, remember, with all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Smile. Sometimes the world can seem like an endless cycle of bad news and hardship. We can feel weak and helpless, especially transitioning into this new chapter of our lives. We need to remember that there are always going to be hard times, but we have to be the ones to bring out the beauty, even when it seems hard. Don't give up just when there's an obstacle in your way, and remember, you have the power to make a change. While Crefeld has changed a lot since MK was a student in 2000, many things have stayed the same. I think that what makes Crefeld so special is the people. The motivated and creative students, the supportive and encouraging staff, and, of course, the dogs. To the class of 2026, I know all of you will go far in your future endeavors. Remember, advocate for yourself, utilize the support systems around you, and sometimes, don't be so afraid to drink the water. You never know where it may lead you. Congrats.
And now the commencement speeches. Just need to get organized up here. Xander Renko.
Xander is an Eagle Scout. He earned the highest rank in Boy Scouts last spring upon his completion of 52 merit badges and his Eagle Scout project. The Scout Law identifies 12 traits of character which Xander works to embody each day. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. As Xander's advisor for the last 4 years, I'd like to share some of the ways that I see Xander embodying the Scout Law. Xander is kind and loyal. He cares about the needs and feelings of others and forms deep bonds of friendship. He understands that relationships require time and energy and is willing to put in the work. He always tries to do the right thing and be a good role model. Xander shows up with bravery, even when life feels heavy. He cares deeply about mental health awareness and wears a semicolon necklace as a reminder of his strength and commitment to keep moving forward despite life's hardships. He ran a mental health awareness group for his leadership exhibition this year, gathering a group of peers to meet weekly to build connection and community. He leaves notes of encouragement around the school. Love yourself, even if you don't see it. You are amazing. Xander has a deep reverence for the natural world. He loves bugs, especially spiders. He volunteered with Friends of the Wissahickon in the summer after 10th grade, doing trail maintenance and removing invasive species. While working at the Schuylkill Environmental Center, Xander always insisted on pulling out thorny plants by hand, especially his nemesis, the devil's walking stick, even if all those thorns ended up in his hands later. Getting to today was not always easy. There were most certainly challenges. Getting thoughts from inside his head onto paper could be arduous. Expository writing was a regular foe. It could be daunting to live up to the Scout Law when things were tough. However, Xander continued to chip away at his classwork and his exhibitions, moving forward at his own pace. He leans on joy to get through the hard times. Xander loves to work dry humor into conversations, and his puns are on point. He's a talented illustrator. My personal favorite artwork he created was Brachiosparagus, the Brachiosaurus dinosaur with an asparagus flower head that he drew during physics class. He loves cars, especially his Subaru WRX, which he'll be driving to Widener University next year to study mechanical engineering. Along with the Scout Law, the Scout's Oath is part of the dogma of the Boy Scouts and is usually recited at the beginning of each meeting. I created a variation that I'd like to commit to you today as your advisor at your high school graduation. On my honor, I did my best to capture the many ways that you embody the Scout Law, how you help other people at all times, and how you care for yourself both physically and emotionally. Congratulations, Xander. We are so proud of you.
Brielle Jenke.
If you know one thing about Brielle, it's probably that she really, really loves dogs. So obviously, I don't want to spend her whole speech talking about dogs. I've got oodles of other things to say about her. I've always been impressed by Brielle's thirst for knowledge and outstanding academic skill. I first got to know her when she joined my chemistry class halfway through the year because she had advocated for herself to move up to the 11-12 team early. She was not thrown at all by having missed the whole first semester and studied on her own to catch up. She aced my tests and wrote detailed Labrador reports. Since I became Brielle's advisor soon after, I have seen her insight and ingenuity in classes across the board. Brielle always pushes herself academically. She has maxed out our math program at Crefeld, taken all the academic electives she had time for, and flown through most of the GBE process. Brielle has taken challenging classes in a variety of subjects, both online and at Chestnut Hill College. Though sometimes these classes could be a little rough, she has succeeded and set herself up very well for college. But what I will really miss about Brielle are all of the hilarious things that make her, well, her. The way she naps so hard with a jacket over her head that I sometimes don't even realize she's there. Brielle gets so cold, I mean, not today, obviously, but she gets so cold that she's practically a pupsicle. She's generous, like when she has brought in dozens of adorable dog cupcakes to share for her birthday, or like when she created a beautiful marine tableau and brought me stickers to motivate me to do well in a class that I was taking. Brielle throws herself into whatever she's doing. She's made multiple elaborate presentations about the ocean sunfish, otherwise known as the mola mola. She delights in worm maxing while playing our favorite board game, Wingspan. She meticulously updates our class quote board, which she often appears on herself. She's silly and talented and passionate, and I've loved having her in class and advisory. Sometimes I Maltese her until she says, "Rachel, I'm gonna get you." But it's all out of love. Oh, and did I mention that Brielle really likes dogs? She wrote a research paper about how breeding dogs for appearance is unethical. She did her history orals about dog breeds in art as a sign of social status. Brielle created a podcast about dogs for her creative and technology project. She volunteered at a shelter for cats? That can't be right. She worked at a doggy daycare and completed an externship at a veterinary hospital. Brielle's love of dogs is truly great, like a Dane. I know these puns were pawful. Doggone it, I just can't stop. Brielle, we love you and we'll miss you. Bon voyage as you head off to McAllister. Congratulations. Love you, congratulations.
Emmanuel Johnson.
Emmanuel, E-Man, is an artist, and like every artist, he should have a museum filled with his creations. So I've created the Museum of E-Man to celebrate the artist and his work. First room, the early years. This room reflects those first years, the building of an artist who understands that play is essential to creation. Installations of balls bouncing through air, an opening to the trees to replicate time outside and days of wonder. Sculptures constructed from sticks after storms blew them away to show us that treasures can be created from everything. A small nook to read and hear illustrated text out loud, honoring E-Man's early love of stories. A corner with a magic blanket that takes visitors to mysterious adventures. Photographs on the wall, family gatherings, boys on skates under sunsets, cold nights on the beach. All works highlight the ability to just be. Second room, the sketches. This is where the young artist experiments. He develops his style, but this doesn't come without adversity. Here, works reveal different learning approaches, rhymes and beats, and conversations with mentors. Half-thought ideas written on place cards. E-Man shows us that beauty comes through the missteps, the varied paths. Papers once crumpled up into dismissals and thrown across the room burst into flowers. Third room, self-portraits. There are moments playing basketball, mornings sitting under the stairs with friends, laughing, and time on the dance floor. There are portraits with his dog, Rusty, that first time with him at the airport's parking lot when Rusty's fur lit up the day like a match, earning him his name. Another of that first time Rusty leapt into E-Man's lap, Rusty's famous side-eye looking at him. E-Man understood Rusty, how it can take time to trust. There are also photographs of self-made tattoos on his arm. Self as canvas? Fourth room, graffiti. This room explodes with bold letters and colors. E-Man's name stretches across the skyline as a claim to the world, a festival of being that stands against the status quo but anchors him in community and connections. It continues his storyline, and every tag urges a conversation. The hidden rooms, the room of illusions and chance. E-Man is here somewhere, right? Behind the curtain, down the hall. Maybe he's just running a little late. This room is dedicated to the mischief, E-Man the magician. He's not here, but he's everywhere. He's stepped aside so that you'll make your own art. He's left you Sharpies, crayons, and found objects. See yourself in the long mirror. Maybe find a hot dog costume to try on. Here we recognize how we've been changed by knowing him. That'll look different for everybody, as art is. Then we have the special exhibitions, GBEs. They highlight some of E-Man's best work. In his leadership exhibition, E-Man led students in a basketball activity where they became living sculptures, acquiring form and style and feeling their power. This is where the artist learns that we actually learn through teaching. In the literary analysis exhibition, he found voice in his analysis, saw depth in characters as mirrors and windows. He shows us how art informs and helps us better understand ourselves. In his creative exhibition, Tired of Expectations and Conventions, this is where E-Man broke barriers and challenged himself to find a canvas and a shoe, a laptop, a sourced old TV. New textures invited the hand to travel across the bumps and curves, beauty becoming a surprise. And every museum must have a cafeteria. This one is filled with caramels, pretzels, ramen, mac and cheese. Of course, in the Museum of E-Man, patrons can eat anywhere they want to, on beanbag chairs, sinking into them as if they were clouds. There are new wings under construction. No one can say how they'll be curated, but they're sure to be visionary, engaging, and hands-on. This artist is not finished. He's just beginning. Congratulations, E-Man. We love you.
Mia Allegra Torcoletti.
Mia, I have to let you in on a little secret. Some of your teachers and I have been working on a new pasta shape, but we just can't figure out what to name it. I figure since you know Italian food so well, maybe you could help me out here. Now everyone, there's some secret ingredients in this dish that some might consider inside jokes. I promise it doesn't take away from the whole flavor. First of all, this is already a great pasta by itself. You don't need to do too much when cooking it, and it'll come out brilliantly no matter what. Here? Good. Can everyone hear me? Awesome. So, even when you head into a recipe thinking, I'm going to fail this, you end up with a delicious plate in front of you. It sort of reminds me about all those tests you took while at Crefeld. You know, the ones where I told you that you know more than you do, but you were still convinced you were going to fail. Well, you aced all those tests, and now you're here graduating. If you can do that, then surely you can help me name this darn pasta. You know, I forgot to mention that even though it's awesome on its own, this pasta is always paired with something. It makes every dish better, especially things like Skinny Pop and Caesar salad. Anyone is welcome to sit down and enjoy this dish, and you can't help but smile and be grateful how this one little pasta brought so many people together. I can't explain it, but it's especially popular with grandmas. Although some people think of them as divas. Do you know anything about that, Mia? Anything about grandmas? Yeah? Okay, I can't put my finger on it, but you give off a grandma vibe. It's weird. I think I get the same feeling from Hayes as well. Well, come to think of it, I said that. Maybe I'm just talking nonsense. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But this whole pasta naming business really has me stressed out. I'm almost out of ideas. Maybe I should mention that the shape of this pasta is sort of like curly, you know? It's actually really hard to get it right. There's a whole secret process that you can only share with the most trustworthy people via a Google Slides presentation. Oh, and I found that you get the best results when listening to some upbeat pop music like Harry Styles or Taylor Swift, or even Starships by Nicki Minaj. Maybe not Nicki. Didn't you tell me there was a better version of that song by Mao Zedong? The Chinese dictator? Well, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, but that's the only thing I can think about is getting the name of this pasta right. Ooh, wait, I've got it. Mia, I know exactly what to call this pasta. You are such a bright person, and you foster these beautiful friendships, and I don't even need to explain the curly shape, do I? I think it's pretty clear that you inspired this pasta. So let's call it a Mia Tagliatelle? A Mia Tortellini? Wait, I got it, a Mia Torcoletti. When you go to Goucher College, I know that you'll continue to succeed, stand up for your friends, and most importantly, make really great pasta.
Clyde Parrish Kelly.
Hello, welcome to the initial round of interviews for the role of Glass-Blowing Director Supreme. Our first candidate is Clyde, who's been applying for this position since he first came to Crefeld in 7th grade. As a graduating senior, it seems that he may have the background and experience to finally get the job. Let's check out his resume. Experience. Clyde utilized his time here at Crefeld quite well. Clyde is confident in his skills in glassblowing, and for a good reason. Clyde has taken glassblowing every semester since his 9th grade, loving an outlet for his creative talent. Not only is he proficient in a variety of techniques, he has been a mentor to so many students while here. Clyde participated in 2 glass-blowing classes his senior year, allowing him to be more comfortable with the forge and its temperament. He created a wonderful glass art piece with custom lighting for his creative and tech graduation projects. Personality traits. Having a calm, cool disposition is a great quality to have as a future teacher. And Clyde has coolness in spades. His laid-back attitude allows him to deal with all of the nonsense students can get up to. Clyde is not a pushover, though, as he is thorough and will plant his feet into the ground to prove that some things are to prove that lost it. We're good. To prove that some things are important to care about. He cares about his craft and not interested in cutting corners. For Clyde's leadership, he made a detailed list of necessary tasks and made sure that they were carried out. Leadership skills. Clyde already acts like a teacher. Don't talk to him before his morning caffeine fix. His drink of choice was Celsius in all of its many interesting forms, though, like a true teacher, he is transitioning to coffee. He is already looking for ways to improve how students learn. Clyde's love of music inspired him to write a research paper on the benefits of having music playing in the background while working. His forward thinking is just what any school would look for when it comes to their teachers. Bonding with coworkers and students is an unwritten tool for success. Clyde is naturally good at talking to others and relating to them with his variety of interests and hobbies. Music and glass blowing are just the beginning, as you can also get him started on video games, board games, and art in a heartbeat. This extensive resume got him into the Massachusetts College of Art and Design, where he will not only master his glass-blowing ability, but his way of teaching the knowledge that he has gained. I look forward to seeing him back here in a few years. Sorry, Josh.
Quace Alvin Zamor.
So Quace is going to get a speech in 2 languages. Linda is going to present his speech for his family in Creole.
Quace Alvin Zamor, gros chef de cuisine. nan. Le un chef de cuisine entre dans une cuisine, li mette vie dans l'espace là. Un grand cuisinier toujours à préparer manger, moun pa jamais kablier le goûter. En même temps, il toujours à guider l'autre monde qui dans cuisine nan, et l'a créer une bonne ambiance pour eux tout. Moi penser, l'homme dit moi penser, m'a parlé de Tony, c'est Tony qui fait speech là. Moi pense que Quest agit comme ça, pas seulement dans la cuisine, mais tout côté le passé. Le Quest a visité la cuisine, nous relais Crefeld l'année passée. Il était lagué tout lui-même dans le travail là, même moment. Il prend la cuisine en charge comme s'il était là pendant toute l'année. Il commence à suivre, il prend note, et puis il participe dans toute discussion dans la classe là. Il était déjà gain tout ingrédient nécessaire pour bâtir une belle carrière dans Crefeld. En même temps, il était connaît, il était gain pile d'autres compétences avec l'autre petit secret, il était qu'à apprendre pour y ajouter dans recette li pour te qu'à venir un plus bon élève toujours. Un bon chef une expérience. Il vient préparer à tout principe pour tracer chemin sous terrain football, le lap dribbler avec boule là. Il était partagé l'amour li gen pour le football dans exposition leadership lia. Côté il était préparé leçon qui t'a aidé l'autre élève yo à améliorer propre capacité pa yo. En pile élève yo t'ai participé et puis yo t'ai apprendre en pile nan men. Un chef qui a expérience toujours qu'à apprendre nouveau technique. Et puis Quest est toujours prêt pour apprendre nouveaux compétences pour faire capacité sportive li vin plus riche. Il était lagué l'école dans tout bagage gymnastique. Il était apprendre escalade sous mur, il apprendre jouer basketball et puis finalement il était arrivé rentrer dans l'équipe basketball là. Apprendre jouer là, c'est un coup apprendre une nouvelle recette pour lui. C'est un coup il t'a cherché un petit épice spécial pour te comprendre jouer là plus bien. Il était passé en pile dans temps libre pour l'entraîner. Jour qu'il était venu tourner un expert dans jouet là. Et puis il bâti compétences li tant qu'on une belle sauce béchamel. En plus de basketball et football, Quest apprend en pile l'autre nouvelle capacité tout. Et comme un chef qui voulait améliorer recette li yo, Quest la école net n'a apprendre nouveau bagay. Moi pas jamais besoin faire son jeu travail pour le faire. Il était un élève qui a en pile motivation et puis qui te compte bien diriger tête li. Il te qu'on aller dans le laboratoire pour l'améliorer écriture dissertation avec mathématiques pour te quitter un nouveau leçon bien bouilli dans tête li. Il te travaille avec Lisa pour construire un robot pour exposition créativité et technologie li. Et puis semestre ça, li te profite améliorer capacité comme un membre officiel dans l'équipe qui t'a prend soin pour yo dans Crefeld. En plus de talent li gen dans cuisine nan, raison principale qui fait un pile moun remerete bon côté Kwes, c'est parce qu'il gen un pile charisme. Kwes généreux en pile. Travail en chef, c'est bay moun manger. Kwes te fait ça souvent ici là pour groupe consultatif noir. Kwes c'est un leader naturel. Si un élève plus jeune passé a fait ça pas ça, li corrige la un simple coup de Dieu. Kwes comique en pile. Li te signé en gomme dans classe pour calculis lia et puis li dit Justin comme ça pour le kebel pour le venir gros célébrité pour le gagne preuve que le te connaît. Il te plié un bateau en papier et puis l'écrit Titanic sous lui avec belle écriture là. Il te mettait sous bureau. Bateau a tombé plusieurs fois. L'heure où ça il dit eh bien c'est Titanic lié. Quest toujours mettait la joie dans la cuisine li pendant la assurer travail l'a toujours fait bien. Quest c'était un vrai plaisir pour moi, en parlant de Tony, faire partie du voyage éducatif. Moi, reconnaissant en pile du fait que vous avez joint une route sous Crefeld. Et puis, vous avez toute recette pour créer un bel environnement pour tête et pour l'autre monde, bon côté. Vous avez un bon cœur, vous avez un esprit généreux, avec une modestie qui dépasse l'âge. Moi, je souhaite tout meilleur souhait dans la vie, dans l'Université Hofstra l'année prochaine. That's the end.
When a chef enters the kitchen, that space comes alive. A great chef creates memorable meals while also mentoring those in his kitchen and keeping the space fun. Quace does all of these things, not just in the kitchen, but in every space he enters. When Quace visited the kitchen that is Crefeld last year, he jumped on the line, cooking as if he's been here all year by actively taking notes and participating. He already had the necessary ingredients to cook up a great career here. And he also knew that there were so many more skills and tricks he could add to his dishes to make him an even better chef. A good chef has experience. He already came in knowing how to cut a path on the soccer field while dribbling a football. He shared his love for soccer in his leadership exhibition, where he cooked up lesson plans that helped his peers sharpen their own skills. Many students participated, and they learned a lot from him while still having a lot of fun. An experienced chef can still learn new techniques, and Quace was eager to learn new skills to enhance the buffet of his athletic repertoire. He quickly found comfort in the gym, learning to climb and play basketball, eventually joining the basketball team. Learning the game was like learning to make the perfect cream sauce, trying to find the right amount of Parmesan to add to make the game click. He found that by practicing on his own time, his dribbling and shooting became as smooth as a delicious bechamel sauce. Off the court and field, Quace learned a number of new skills, and as a chef who wanted to improve his recipes, Quace threw himself into learning. A few months ago, he tried his hand at making his first tiramisu. That still needed work. In the classroom, he was very motivated and self-directed, going to the test kitchen that is writing and math lab to let a lesson simmer just a little bit longer. In the Cref Lab kitchen, he worked with Lisa on building a robot and creating a video for his creative and tech exhibitions. And this semester, he honed his skill as an official Crefeld chicken tender, one he did not cook. You did it, right? Okay. Cooking skills aside, the main reason why Quace draws so many people to his kitchen is because of his charisma. Quace is a generous chef. A chef's job is to feed people, and he has on many occasions brought food in for our advisory, including a successful second try at tiramisu on Tuesday. Quace is a natural leader. If a younger student is doing what they should not be doing, he can redirect them with a simple look. Thank you, by the way. Quace is funny. He signed an eraser in pre-calculus class, telling Justin that he should hold on to it for when he's famous. In my class, he folded a paper boat and wrote on it in his very beautiful cursive writing, "The Titanic." And he placed it on my desk. It fell over a few times. I was like, "Oh no," and he said, "Well, it's a Titanic." Quace keeps his kitchen alive with joy while still making sure work gets done. Quace, it has been a true joy being part of your educational journey. I am so grateful that you found your way to Crefeld and that you had the recipes to create a nurturing environment for you and others. You have a kind heart, a giving spirit, and a humility that is mature beyond your years. I wish you all the best as you head to Hofstra University next year. And I have just one more thing that I need you to help me finish. Don't worry, it's not to set up chairs. You ready? You gotta help me finish. Por la mañana café, por la tarde ron. Congratulations.
Didn't happen. Kavi Hecht.
Kavi has channeled their love of movies into years of dedicated work at the Bryn Mawr Film Institute. I went there the other day and saw they had a special exhibition about Kavi, a whole hallway filled with movie posters, edited to perfection to represent their time at Crefeld. The first poster is a double feature of Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express. Both movies Kavi has highly recommended. As I look closely at these posters, I see the image is actually being created through dense lines of tiny, colorful text, reminiscent of Kavi's many organizational tools. This took some meticulous work. Only Kavi's understanding of preparation, planning, and small details would be able to pull this off. These skills supported them through multiple projects, one being their leadership, a swap meet held for the school where students and teachers could exchange clothing items. Another was editing the yearbook during their junior year. I lean in to read a couple of phrases on the poster. There are a lot of words on this page. Kavi can and wants to talk about anything and everything. They genuinely want to connect with those around them and will take the time to listen to what others are telling them in a patented, let's sit down and have a conversation. Moving to the next poster, the first thing that jumps out is the title, Raiders of the Hated Rodents. The score will surely feature their many diss tracks about Punxsutawney Phil and Stuart Little. And Bucky. This movie definitely represents Kavi's adventurous spirit. There they are on the poster, dressed up as Adolfo in The Drowsy Chaperone. They had never, They had never participated in a play and took on the role very late in the game, then played it to perfection. It also looks like they swapped the boulder in the poster to a giant sea urchin. A callback to their Hawaii spring mini course, where even stepping on one and having to go to the ER did not stop them from literally jumping in to their next adventures. Now we come to the last poster in the display, a rendition of Now You See Me, a movie about a team of magicians. On this poster, those characters are Kavi and all of the people they have connected with on their journey. Their empathy for others knows no bounds. They are always ready for a deep conversation where they help others through difficulties at school and encourage younger students. We see and appreciate the incredible member of the community that you have been. Looks like a new display is coming soon. Right now, we just have the title, Kavi and the Adventure to the Commonwealth University of Bloomsburg. This is highly anticipated, and we know it will contain all of Kavi's usual spirit. Kavi, continue to plan, design, and execute with your usual panache. Congratulations.
Alice Riley.
Alice has an eye for fashion and a style all her own. She's been at Crefeld since 8th grade, and in many ways, I see her development through the years like the creation of a beautiful piece of clothing. Before creating anything, a designer must decide on a pattern and a material to work with. Lori mentioned that in sewing class, Alice had a strong sense of how she wanted her finished pieces to look. Alice arrived to start a project armed with vision boards and inspiration images, sure of her creative voice. While she might try out different materials for this project, they are all likely to include similar motifs. Alice's work has often featured skulls and crossbones, polka dots, and the colors pink and black. Next, the creator must carefully measure out the components of the piece. This is critical and requires precision. It can be quite intimidating to then start cutting, but Alice has developed a supportive network to help her through hard things. She has a group of close-knit friends to whom she is very loyal. These friends support her when she needs it, such as when they sat up front to cheer her on during her public presentation. Golden has also been there for Alice throughout the years to listen, advise, and celebrate her. Now we come to the heart of the project, sewing the components together into a whole piece. We have seen Alice build herself up over the years, learning new skills and developing her interests. Last year, she created a research paper topic about the need for healthcare equity because quality healthcare is a human right. She was very passionate in arguing the need for access for gender-affirming healthcare for all. In general, while she was often quiet in classes, when she heard about a justice issue that hit close to home for her, she was energized and articulate about the need for every person to be seen as human and given respect. This year, she tried some big new experiences. In the spring, Alice traveled to Italy with her dad and then did a story project for art class about the trip. Alice also opted to do a traveling mini course for the first time this year and came to Maine with me for a week. A highlight for me was witnessing her excitement to connect with the group playing Mafia one evening. It was always lovely to see Alice's sense of humor and willingness to push herself. Once it's together, the piece can be finished and embellished. Here's where Alice's sense of style really shines through. She has developed a bold and confident look. Alice also shows us flashes of a sassy and enthusiastic personality that's pretty wonderful. It definitely makes me say, oh, wow. But my favorite accessory of Alice's is her smile. I really treasure the moments I've gotten a lovely, genuine smile from Alice about something ridiculous that's happening in the room or something notable she's achieved. Finally, an artistic piece can be shown off. While it can be intimidating to share a personal creation, I always enjoyed getting to see what Alice had made. When the sewing classes put together fashion shows for art celebrations, Alice became a strong voice in the planning process. She recommended excellent music and walked in the shows. Alice, best of luck at Temple University next year. You are talented and full of potential, and I'm confident that you will continue to create many beautiful things, both in sewing and in your life. Congratulations.
Noah Travaglia.
The first metaphorical image that comes to mind when I think of Noah is an iceberg. The iceberg image resonates because of how much of it lurks beneath the surface of mere appearances. For folks who may not know Noah all that well, or even those who do, much of his distinctive essence and identity can stay hidden below the waterline. It's impossible not to respect and appreciate the gifts and unique qualities of a more private person like Noah. He's just not an open book. There's another way that Noah resembles ice. Its intricate crystalline structure, for instance, is highly organized and multifaceted. All of its symmetrical and geometrical aspects may not be visible to the naked eye, but they are fundamental to its molecular structure. They are as keenly organized as Noah is when arranging classroom or cleaning supplies during Crefeld's service learning time. Noah is like a maestro in bringing harmony to disordered spaces. His teachers and classmates marvel at his acumen for tidying up and organizing previously disheveled storage areas or classrooms. Another place that Noah's meticulousness shines is in his visual artwork. He composes his creative work deliberately, prioritizing depth over superficial breadth. He can often be found with his trusty sketchbook in hand, exercising his artistic talents, if only for himself. And the art shows for several years have invariably featured impressive examples of his skillful craft. His uncanny attention to detail shows up in the way he performs his coursework, too. Noah's first two academic and extracurricular passions at Crefeld seem to be science and visual arts. His chemistry teacher attests to his fervent love of that course and the conscientious enthusiasm with which he pursues his studies. His scientific graduation exhibition entailed growing a batch of sunflowers that he watered with different pH levels. She reports that he did an outstanding job of caring for the plants and gathering and recording his meticulous data. But Noah is by no means all work and no play. He flashes a wry, sly sense of humor and a keen appreciation for puns and incongruities. He's also an avid trivia buff who excels in competitive trivia arenas like Jackbox around school. He's also apparently adept at video games. Even though he's usually the quietest person in the room during our advisory meetings, I understand he can be among the loudest while playing Jackbox. In sum, there's much more to Noah than may first meet the eye. He's been in my advisory for only this past year, so I feel like I'm still discovering facets of his identity that truly distinguish him as a student and person. He's bound for Temple University next year. And I look forward to hearing about all his future exploits still to come. Congratulations, Noah.
Max Greenbaum.
In the past few years, we have learned two very important facts about Max. One, he likes to make his own decisions. Two, he is constantly reading on his iPad, at home, at school, and often when he should be working on something else. Max has been on an ongoing quest to find a good book. I actually think his time here has been like a choose-your-own-adventure book. Max's Crefeld adventure began in his junior year. His teachers noted his witty sense of humor right away. Soon he reached some branching paths. Choice one, should he work on his history assignments or play Faster Than Light, a roguelike sci-fi game? Video games are tempting, but he did get that history work done eventually. Choice two, participate in serious discussions in English or brainstorm his next clever quip. English discussions are interesting, plus Max made excellent points, such as book ban bad, ban bad, which Tony found both insightful and hilarious. Choice three, work on projects in the Cref Lab. The other option doesn't matter. It's the Cref Lab. Max is a very talented digital creator. His patented strategy of ooga booga, figure it out, served him well. He created digital games to support social justice in his service learning group, and ultimately used his skills he built on his creative and technology exhibitions, a roguelike game with procedurally generated levels. Still working on the title, but when he presented it during his public, we were all excited to try it. As Max continued his adventure into his senior year, he had many decisions to make regarding his GBE projects. Choice one, work on science by testing the efficiency of different fuels. Choice two, study for the civics exam and pass with flying colors. Or choice three, try to convince his teachers that napping was an acceptable GBE goal. Obviously, we have to try choice three first. Let's see how that goes. Rachel says go back and make a different decision. Max did decide to do those other two options eventually, and while he did not actually nap, he often showed us his whimsical side. Just ask him about the shopkeeper in his game. With its $ face and feather hat, it became an iconic art asset. Though he doesn't consider himself an artist, the shopkeeper remains as Max's signature on his creation. Once Max truly established himself, he decided to share some of his interests with those around him. Choice one, share his love for reading with my advisory, Justin's advisory, and all of his teachers. Choice two, help others explore Magic the Gathering for his leadership exhibition. Choice three, share his interests in gaming with me by bringing in an Android emulation device, which I definitely bought right away. Surprise, he did all three of those. He's a bit of a completionist when he wants to be. Well, there's only one decision left, and it looks like there's only one option. Choice one, attend Worcester Polytechnic Institute in the fall. Woo! Max, you have made so many choices already, and there will be plenty more to make in the future. Take all that you have learned and make good decisions. Congratulations.
Stefania Pierce.
All right. This is a tale of 3 Sarahs. The advisory system is one of the hallmark features of a Crefeld education. Usually, a student is placed into an advisory as a 9th grade student and then stays with that advisor through their time in the upper school. Steffi did it differently. She has the rare distinction of being the person in this graduating class who had the most advisors. She's been in 4 different advisories, and she collected all of the Sarahs. It's like Pokemon. Gotta get them all. Let's go back in time. The year is 2022. COVID is finally waning, and though everyone is still masked, the most stringent precautions from the pandemic have lifted. Steffi has just moved up to the 9-10 team after completing 8th grade in Crefeld's middle school world. Young Steffi loves nature, especially marine biology. She loves video games and animals, and she has a kitty collection. She is candid and true to herself. Steffi is artistic and enjoys expressing herself through clothing. She is an engaged student and has found her place in the community. Steffi meets her first Sarah when she joins Sarah and Nika's advisory. Though she sometimes has a guarded affect, her true nature is kind and caring. She's part of the group in intensive biology that pushes hard to make dragonbeard candy at the end of the year. We are all disappointed to discover that it didn't actually taste that good, even though it's cool to look at and to make. On a class trip to Six Flags, Steffi takes great enjoyment in watching Joe hate the Ferris wheel. Sorry, Joe. At the end of 10th grade, Sarah and Nika end their roles as advisors, and Steffi moves on to her second Sarah, Sarah Franzel, who will be her new advisor starting in 11th grade. 11th grade Steffi thinks deeply about equity and identifies with feminist ideology. She cares about people and justice. As a student, she's well organized and methodical. She has a regular journaling practice. She writes every day during morning advisory. 12th grade brings yet another transition when Sarah Franzel also moves out of her advisor role. Steffi needs a new advisor again. It has to be me. I'm the only other Sarah left on staff. It's really my privilege, though. I get the pleasure of witnessing Steffi's final year of high school. This is a bit of a hard transition since it comes as a surprise to Steffi, but she recovers quickly. 12th grade is a whirlwind. Between all intensive academic classes and senior work, Steffi is busy. She helps run the art show for her leadership exhibition and sews a dress for her creative expression project. Though senioritis hits hard in the spring, we make it to graduation day. We're back in the present. Today is June 12th, 2026, and Steffi is graduating from high school. She still really likes science, and one of her exhibitions modeled ocean acidification. She is still quite a good student. She's meticulous and accurate with chemistry calculations, and she participates in all of her classes, even though she's often an otherwise quiet student. She's loyal to her friends and articulate in arguing a point. She is a talented artist and has grown tremendously in her artistic style. She's headed off to Temple in the fall. No doubt in a unique and fashionable outfit. Maybe she even sewed it herself. Congratulations, Steffi. The Sarahs and the rest of the Crefeld staff are so proud of you.
Sanai Johnson.
Sanai had never worked with clay before she joined the Empty Bowls Service Learning Group last year. This group creates clay bowls to donate for fundraisers which address food insecurity. Sanai took to it immediately and enthusiastically, and has been prolific in creating beautiful clay pieces at the same time as she has formed herself as a person. The first step when working with clay is to wedge it to remove air pockets and align the particles, and to select a piece to form into a ball. Much of Sanai's formation happened before she came to Crefeld in her junior year. She has a family who loves her and a strong academic history. I heard only amazing things about Sinai before she joined my advisory. The graduate support staff at the St. James School, where Sinai previously attended, told me that she was kind, funny, hardworking, and loved STEM. I couldn't wait to meet her and see what she would become. The next step to make a clay bowl is to work the clay using your finger and thumb. Pinching it is slow, steady work which requires checking for evenness as the shape of the bowl appears. This work suits Sinai, who is the soul of consistency. Sinai always showed up for her classes with positive energy. She always did the daily academic work, even when it wasn't exciting, working hard every day to learn as much as possible. Beyond that, Sinai was consistent as a community member. She helped out, lifted others, and stood out as someone we could always rely on. You don't get that kind of evenness without years of steady effort. Once a bowl is shaped, you can refine its form to fit your vision using sponges or paddles, or trimming it to form particular shapes. Sinai left her mark by signing her bowls with an SJ on the bottom. She's left an impression on us as well with her delightful personality. I experienced the famous Sinai side-eye pretty early on when I made puns, but I've heard plenty of silly jokes from her as well. She left surprising and funny messages in the puzzles she made in our Secret Codes and Ciphers mini course last year. We've learned that Sinai is flexible and forgiving, generous with snacks, and loves coloring. This year, her signature whimsical accessory has been her Gary the Snail backpack, whose eyeballs bounce as she walks the halls with Reese the dog in her arms. After a first firing, the bowl needs to be glazed. Painting the piece with glaze makes it beautiful and ready to be finished. This year, Sinai has built on her own successes by applying the skills that she has developed. Sinai completed many interesting exhibitions for GBE this year. Her leadership exhibition was teaching other students to make clay pieces. For science, she built a wind turbine to test its voltage output based on blade number. One of my favorites of her exhibitions was when she learned to cook delicious Venezuelan food and then let us eat it. She also traveled to South Africa for service and a safari. These senior year experiences were the glaze on the bowl of her high school career. The final firing seals the pores of the clay and makes it ready for use. Sinai, we are so unbelievably proud of who you are and what you have done. You are an incredible leader, and I don't know what I'll do without you. Especially your confident ability to seat people and take everyone's phones at the start of community meeting. You are a great student and a wonderful person. I know you will bowl everyone over at Howard University next year. Congratulations, Sinai. We love you.
Calypso Hilgard.
Hi, everyone. There are many paths leading elsewhere, one toward a sunlit meadow, one toward a festival, or a road stretching all the way to the horizon. Most people will choose one path and begin walking. But what if you choose none of them? What if you follow the dry creek bed instead, simply to see where it goes? That feels like the most calypso answer possible. The creek bed may not be the obvious path, but it leads forward all the same. The destination is never the point. The point is what you discover along the way. She's busy searching for a different way, looking around in wonder. Perhaps the clothes she thrifted are not exactly the ideal outfit for this hike, but like every other challenge she faces, she somehow makes it work, moving with confidence from stone to stone. Each step is a moment from a life already rich with experiences. It is easy for her to get lost in them. She might seem like someone out of time, her style anchored somewhere in the 60s, her sensibilities belonging to an even older soul. But what matters most is that she wants to make things better now. Her devotion to causes that matter and to people who need her creates a strong foundation for a person determined to leave the world better than she found it. Calypso pauses to think. Every challenge deserves consideration. She can spend a long time turning an idea over in her mind, examining it from every angle. The best path is really the easiest one, and perseverance, adaptability, and curiosity are what help her overcome obstacles. Of course, this means she may be a little late to her next destination, but arriving late does not mean missing the view. It simply means seeing the same place in a different light. Calypso is remarkably intelligent and articulate. Her mind is filled with so many ideas that sometimes there are more stepping stones than steps to take. But once she finds her footing, her path becomes clear, and she continues forward through the woods. Her imagination wanders through mythical creatures, distant worlds, and endless possibilities. She thinks about the friendships she has built, the art she has nurtured and grown over the years, and the person she's still becoming. In moments of deep reflection, it is easy to lose your way. It is easy to forget where you are, wander off the trail, and rest for a while beneath the trees. But Calypso always finds her way back because she leaves a trail behind her, made up of small remnants of herself: a bag, a sweater, a water bottle, a pen, small treasures scattered along the path. To some, they may seem forgotten, but they are little reminders of where she has been and invitations to continue the work she started. And then there is her song. You can overhear a soft tone drifting from somewhere. There are no words, no recognizable melody, yet somehow everyone knows it's her. It's like an ethereal sound carried through the woods. That is Calypso. Calypso has always been more concerned with looking out for others than watching where she puts her own feet. People gravitate towards her. Her warmth, curiosity, compassion, and authenticity invite people in. She makes others want to walk beside her. Calypso, as you continue down whatever trails await you next, keep exploring the path no one else notices. Keep asking questions. Keep imagining new worlds. Keep fighting for the people and causes you care about, and every now and then find your way back from the wood to us. It's my accent, yeah, I know.
Sam Dawson.
Sam, when I sat down to start writing this speech, I thought for sure that I would use video games and your favorite character, Kirby, as the theme. You love Kirby, and you love video games. Your Kirby hoodie makes a regular appearance at school, and you turned Mario Odyssey into a Spanish project. You wrote a research paper on the cognitive effects of video games on adolescent brain development. You always sign up for Joe's Smash Bros. Activity. And when it came time to complete your leadership, you had your heart set on organizing a Smash Bros. Tournament. You even created a 58-slide presentation all about the game mechanics and strategies. But every time I sat down to write, I kept feeling limited by this theme. While you share some attributes with your favorite character and the games you love, you've also grown beyond it into a young adult with so much depth and competence and self-knowledge. Kirby is a cute pink puffball of a character who lives on planet Popstar and defends it from threats. So are you. Kirby loves snacks, is brave, and has a keen sense of justice. So are you, Sam. You're a vocal advocate for minimizing the use of AI because of its impacts on the environment, specifically water and forests. You, you speak up for what you think is right. But your bravery goes beyond surface level. When you came to Crefeld as a ninth grader, you sometimes struggled to articulate your needs, and it was hard to engage in dialogue together. You bravely faced this challenge head on and grew immensely in your capacity to identify and name your needs. I see this competence at school and also in your personal life. Last year, you advocated for yourself by legally changing your name and publicly claiming your chosen identity. You also love to ask me when I'm ever going to bring snacks during advisory. Like Kirby, you care deeply about those close to you. I love seeing you in my room at lunchtime, eating quietly with the small group who also enjoys the same calm environment. You visited a classmate when they were out of school due to health complications last year. You love dogs, and you always greet my dog, Frankie, with a smile and an invitation for her to lick your fingers. She loves that. As a member of the yearbook CSL, you took ownership of the Crefeld Dogs page, highlighting all of our furry friends with love and care. You take digital art commissions, and you create these artworks with the most care and attention, like you would for a loved one. Kirby can inhale other characters and copy their powers. You don't really need to do this, though, because you have so many powers of your own. You're deeply creative and highlighted this in both your coursework and your graduation exhibitions. There was the Blender model you created for your creative and technology exhibitions, as well as the beautiful start of a video game you made in the Cref Lab. You have a characteristic art style, and you're very focused on details. You dedicated time to setting the foundation of your game and making it look really nice. You have a deep sense of aesthetics and strong, clear interests. You've also always worked quickly. You've been known to fly through assignments, and you often finish chemistry problem sets way before everyone else did this year. Though you sometimes get stuck academically, you've become so resilient in working through these moments. It's rewarding to see how proud and happy you are when you work through these challenges on your own. I'm thinking about the research paper last year and this year, but there are so many more examples of your perseverance. I think it's safe to say that you've leveled up, Sam. You're off to Clark University next year. And we can't wait to see how your character continues to develop. Congratulations.
Hayes Plant.
As an English teacher, I assign a lot of analysis essays. So I think it's fair that I kind of do the same today. However, I will not be discussing Shakespeare, Morrison, or Hurston, but an author much dearer to me. I present to you a poetry analysis of Hayes Plant's Crefeld sonnet. When one first looks at a sonnet, they just see a bunch of words making up lines. But anyone who takes their time reading it will see that there are parts that make it beautiful. 14 lines, quatrains, iambic pentameter, and rhyme scheme. Yes, I know not all poems have to rhyme. To an observer, Hayes might seem at first to be a quiet girl without much to say. The more one reads through the poetry that is Hayes, the more they see the different aspects of beauty that make up her sonnet. The first quatrain of Hayes' Crefeld sonnet is about her love for poetry. Once during class, I saw her sitting and swaying with her eyes closed, and I got very concerned. But as I approached her, I saw a video of Amanda Gorman reciting one of her poems on Hayes' laptop. She became one with the poem, and it was really beautiful to see. I remember the first time she invited me to read through her poems. I felt honored, and I was near tears through mostly all of them, and I told her, "Go see Nicole, she's a poet too." Hayes took her love for poetry and showcased her work in her creative and tech exhibitions, where she composed original poems and digitized them into a short video. More people learned about the beauty of Hayes' soul through her poetry. Quatrain 2 is about Hayes' love of science. These 4 lines are about her science exhibition, where she tested how light exposure affects the brightness of light that tiny marine organisms give off. She had to run this experiment at night instead of during the school day, as she was working with, and I practiced saying this a lot, bioluminescent dioflagellates. Yes? Okay. It was a great exhibition that she was enthusiastic about, and she was very excited to share her progress. In the 3rd quatrain, readers see her determination. Starting at a new school as a junior is not easy. She allowed herself the time to let the experience, that is Crefeld, take hold within her. But the funny thing is, she took hold of Crefeld. Hayes thrived, and the poetry that is her spirit started to flourish. She was very self-directed this year in completing her work. She made a plan, and she saw it through. Hayes sometimes needed help, and she had her co-author Mia by her side, penning work under the pseudonym The Grandmas about the tale of Caesar salad and gaucho versus skinny pop, much to their readers' delight. The last 2 lines of a sonnet are a rhyming couplet. To the untrained eye, they're just a couple of rhyming lines, but to those who know, those 2 lines pull the entire poem together. Hayes, today is the rhyming couplet that completes your Crefeld sonnet. Your motivation and perseverance got you here. Your warm smile opened doors for people to want to know you. I am honored to have been your advisor, as I got to see your growth from that shy, quiet girl to the funny, confident young woman standing here today. I wish you all the best as you head off to Goucher College this fall.
Maytal Frankel.
Maytal and I have gotten a little obsessed with doing crossword puzzles this year. Every day we do the mini, the midi, the full crossword, extra Sunday crosswords. It's gotten to the point that we've been told we need an intervention. I deny this. In fact, I've created a whole crossword to honor Maytal here at their graduation. I'd like to share some of it with you now, but I'll leave the rest for Maytal to solve. 1 down feels like a good place to start. As Mike would say, Maytal is truly an intrepid scholar. They have excelled in classes across the board, and it has been a joy to see them succeed. Maytal thinks deeply, learns quickly, and works hard. From chemistry to calculus, literary analysis essays to civics exams, Maytal has shown that they can do it all. They applied this talent as a 17 down tutor for their leadership exhibition, helping other students with math. I've become more and more impressed with Maytal's creative talents as well. 10 Across tells us that Maytal performs with Crefeld's music classes in the art shows each semester. They often take the lead as singer, but have picked up all sorts of other instruments as well. According to 13 Down, one of those was the mandolin, but they also rocked at the harmonica, piano, guitar, and more. Ben has had only glowing praise for Maytal through the years, extolling their energy, leadership, collaboration, and infectious artistry. Maytal composed and recorded incredible original music for lyrics from Shakespeare for their creative expression and technology projects this year. Outside of school, they have spent years performing with the MacGuffin Theater Company, which is found in 15 Across. Many Crefeld staff have attended Maytal's shows and been blown away by their acting talent. Maytal even learned more about backstage work at MacGuffin by volunteering there for their independent service learning exhibition. Beyond all this academic and performing talent, Maytal is just a really lovely person. They have gone above and beyond to support others and build up their community. 12 Across, they are a Crefeld student ambassador, leading tours and volunteering at events and always helping out with whatever is needed. 18 Down, they did an internship at Child Space, teaching and playing with small children. 14 Across, they participated in the school's exchange trip to South Africa and hosted South African friends when they visited here. Woo. Maytal, I will miss you so much. Advisory won't be the same without you there to chat with and do puzzles together. I'll miss twinning with you and dreaming of Costco, which we both know is the happiest place on earth. One last clue, 16 Down, the university you'll be attending next year. I know you'll continue to be incredible at everything you take on at Northeastern. And if you ever come back to visit and say, want to do a crossword? The answer will be an enthusiastic yes. Congratulations.
Phoenix Hung.
Phoenix, this speech should have been very easy. It's right there in your name. You overcome adversity, rise from the ashes, and go on to become a legend. It would have been so easy. But knowing you, you would never want my life to be that easy. Which is why I'm going to spend the next few minutes arguing why you should receive the undisputed WWE Championship belt. Cody Rhodes, eat your heart out. The greatest wrestlers are not just the most powerful or the most cunning, but they are also incredible entertainers. You have that part locked down. We only need to look at your work in Crefeld's art shows. You are a prolific creator, and when you run out of space on the page, you carry straight to your arms and produce inky sleeves of red and blue stars in this trademark spiral. I call them red, but it's sort of that Dr. Pepper shade of red that you work into every outfit. That is, unless you're too busy being stage manager for the school musical. In that case, you'll be all decked out in black, much like your idol, Rhea Ripley. Yeah, I think you'll manage to pull off the belt. It's not just one-on-one matches, though. The undisputed champion needs to be able to carry others through a tag team match. And for that, you'll need to be a leader. That shouldn't be a problem, though, as leadership roles come naturally to you. Even in the midst of all the chaos, whether it's in the ring or between scenes of a play, you command excellence. You have no problem stepping up and leading by example, like when you attended the Hawaii mini-course. In a different culture from your own, you jumped straight into the experience, as well as some muddy taro patches, and made sure to try everything that was available to you, including a snorkeling excursion, despite your protest that swimming makes your hair wet. Yeah, it does. The Pacific Ocean will continue to get people's hair wet, but your abilities don't end at its shores. In the classroom, you always speak up and make sure that class means something, and you allow your peers to thrive. You might not be able to tell, but that's the example for your peers to follow. As a champion, you make those around you better, since they know there's nothing to worry about with you at their side. While WWE would be lucky to have you, even luckier is Emerson College, where you'll be studying Yep, go ahead. Where you will be studying technical theater and stage management. You're a champion in your own right, Phoenix, and I can't wait to see the undisputed masterpieces that you help put together in the future. Still, I'll miss the daily good mornings. You made me choke up. What are you doing? I'll miss the cornucopia of vegetables in the spring, and I'll even miss the endless sarcasm. What I'll miss most of all, though, is the daily sign-off. Most people just say bye or see ya. But no, you're going to say the word prosciutto incorrectly and leave. Well, Phoenix, prosciutto to you too. Go get your belt.
Rain Markovitz.
Don't worry, Rain, I didn't lose this one. Welcome to CREF, the Weather Channel for all your weather needs. We have a special showing for you today, an homage to our favorite reporter, Rain. Rain has diligently worked since he came to us in the 7th grade. He always sports his iconic look featuring hard glasses, a fancy phone case, and a sparkling microphone. Rain is a true entertainer at heart. His reports are silly, sometimes scandalous, and always end with a signature catchphrase. Those beginning forecasts were tough. Cloudy skies, tumultuous thunderstorms, and raging winds. Rain had some challenges to overcome when he first joined the station. He had to push through the online learning with the COVID-19 pandemic. As a person who seeks connection with others, this was difficult. Rain also experienced some colliding weather fronts at that time. However, he found better ways to gauge the climate around him and focused on taking and applying feedback. And honestly, that's growth. Rain refined his skills as a reporter, learning to use his energy more productively. Here's a report on some bad weather, but Rain keeps it light and signs off with an ironic quip about wishing he could play tennis. Rain loves to laugh. Occasionally it's something inappropriate, but that's okay. We'll put that on the blooper reel. He wants everyone to be laughing with him, whether he is joking around during advisory, emailing his teacher detailed descriptions of his sneezes, or laughing with his close group of friends about some outlandish topics. His joy can often be heard echoing throughout the halls, which is wonderful. As we continue to watch Rain's reports, we clearly see his blue skies and sunny disposition. As much as he tries to deny it, Rain truly enjoys learning. He sincerely approached his classes, asking genuine questions, contributing insightful thoughts during discussions, and encouraging others to do the same. Rain cajoled his classmates to share what they were thankful for during our Cinco de Mayo dinner on our main mini course. This may have started as a joke, but after he shared all he was thankful for, it became a highlight of the trip. And that's Rain, seeking connection with others any time of day. Here is a moment of perseverance, reporting from Acadia National Park while helping clear the drainage for the carriage roads. The weather is flies all over the place. That is unexpected, but no problem for Rain. He powered through because he knew he was doing something to help the park. He worked hard and wanted those around him to do the same. Now it's time for Rain's final sign-off. So Rain, go off to the University of Pittsburgh. I know. Continue to be your authentic and iconic self as you report in a new environment. Remember all the lessons you have learned here at CREF. We know that you value them. Congratulations.
I'm now going to ask the graduates to stand and face the crowd. Please join me in congratulating the Crefeld class of 2026. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Thank you, everyone. This now concludes our ceremony.